Hey guys, it's Weava, and welcome to another episode of Ballin and Shotcallin. So in today's episode, we're going to be looking at a team fight that happens around Baron. Now this is not a terrible fight for either side, but you'll see there's a couple things that actually play a key part in how this fight develops, the results, and we're going to take a look at whether it was a good choice or not. And if you have any questions about this, I do stream 5 days a week, link up here and in the description below. And if you would like to join our Discord, it is a learning community, link in the description below as well. So without further ado, let's get into this game. So the first thing we're going to do is look at this fight with full vision. Now, it's important to see where we're going to end so then we can backtrack and see how we get there. So what's the scoreboard story for this one? Basically anything you can see if you're actually in this game. Game's fairly even with Callin and Aurelia ahead of their counterparts. However, if you're taking a look at what the effectiveness of each item is, Jinx is behind about a Zeal, with Last Whisper being kind of questionable here for how effective it's going to be. Ziggs and Wukong are both ahead of their counterparts by a full item. And Akali is behind her counterpart by a full item plus a few components. When measuring risk versus reward on this, you need to take a look at the map. Based upon where the waves are, you'll be able to tell what advantages you can gain after defeating the enemy team. So as you can see, red team has two champions holding mid wave, with supers pushing, and both waves on the outsides are fairly even, with one pushing each way. This is actually a scenario where if blue team aces, they can push with the minion wave in mid because of the supers and actually end the game. This forces red team to make a decision. They either fight and risk being aced or acing the other team, or they allow them to take Baron and siege with it into their wave clear. However, at this point, it looks like blue team is trying to go for the win. If red team wins a team fight, they definitely get Baron and part of blue's base. Now, if we take a look at this fight from blue's perspective, you can see they have already begun taking away wards, sweeping everything, clearing them out. Something interesting to point out here is that Caitlyn actually devotes all of her traps to this one section of the ramp. Now, if there happens to be a flank, or if red team decides to come through the river past brush, Caitlyn won't have any zone control set up for the team fight. Blue team has a good position here, and they favor the left side. However, they don't have vision of the other team coming in. This doesn't really provide them with any advantage, or what we like to call planning time. Planning time is the time that you get while watching the team advance to you and figuring out how you're going to play the team fight. There's a reward that comes over the wall, and it's disabled immediately by the pink ward. Note that Wukong is seen for only a fraction of a second, and blue team starts to scatter out of the Baron pit. However, when they do so, they're actually clumped up on the wall, allowing him to hit multiple team members with his ult. As this team fight continues, you'll see that Akali comes in, bypassing Lissandra and cutting off this fight, acting as a pseudo frontline along with Wukong. Due to the amount of damage that Caitlyn's already taken, when Akali comes in to focus her, she immediately removes herself from the fight, only being able to attack Akali. Ziggs, at this point, isn't contributing too much to the team fight, but he's able to throw his ult over the wall and do a good amount of damage to Aurelia. And if you take note, it's at this point that Lissandra is forced into her Zhonya's by Senna and Jinx. Aurelia decides it's finally time to get into the team fight, and she throws her ult at Akali and Wukong. The only problem with that is both champions have a way of dropping aggro, whether it's Decoy or Twilight Shroud. Echo uses his ult to get back to a decent amount of health, and Aurelia has at this point not contributed anything to this team fight. So it's at this point when three champions decide to focus Akali, Twilight Shroud comes down, protecting her, and Wukong and Jinx finish off Echo. Aurelia scrambles to try and save her life and pick up at least one kill. Doesn't happen. Now, Caitlyn, being one of the stronger members of the team, spent most of her team fight time focusing Akali, who is now at only a couple hundred HP. With Lissandra coming out of Zhonya's, this provides Akali with a great opportunity to perfectly execute an escape. With the assist coming in from the Lissandra kill, Jinx gets excited and chases down Karma and the low health Caitlyn. So it's after this, red team picks up Baron and improves their state in the game. So there are a few key things that could have gone differently that would have changed the tide of this fight. And this isn't to say that the fight would have been completely different, but it definitely would have helped blue team to have a better stake in trying to win this one. One of the big changes they could have made was establishing some sort of vision outside of the Baron pit, or at least not just on the back side of it. When I mentioned planning time, The only thing they could plan for is if someone decided to flash the wall or jump the wall for a Baron steal. And it's actually one of the reasons that when they heavily loaded one side of the team fight, it was very easy for Wukong and Akali to get in from different points and to section off the team fight regardless of how strong either of them were. Akali's job in that fight was to come around and flank, plain and simple. Wukong's job was to get into the team fight and just disrupt and deal damage. This left Senna and Jinx to focus down one person at a time, making it a very easy cleanup for a fed Jinx when everyone's health starts to melt down. And I think anyone watching this can agree, target prioritization was definitely off in that fight. If they had prioritized better targets, I think team fight may have gone differently for them. But once again, that stems from not having vision and not having planning time. If you don't know where your targets are, you don't know where that Akali is, if you're on the wrong side of a fight at the start, there's no way you run through Wukong and Akali to get to a priority target. And even if the Akali is a priority target, having two of your members zoned while one sits in stasis and the other two fight for their lives is definitely not going to win you the team fight. So, is this a wrong call? In my opinion, no. But it was a 50-50. As we stated earlier, the game was fairly even. That fight could have gone either way. And at that point, it was the team who played it better who got the rewards. So there's one thing you need to take into account when you make a call. It's not only the call that matters, but it's the preparation and the execution that will determine the outcome. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Ballin and Shotcallin. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it. It benefits everybody. Also, don't forget, I stream 5 days a week on Twitch, and we have a Discord. Come check out our learning community. And as always, in the Council of the Universe, the power is yours. I'll see you for the next video.
Did not.
Oh, didn't get him. Almost got him.
I got it.
He's probably
I got
back.
it.
Ooh, okay.
I'm a god? Am I a god? Am I a god?
You're a god.
I'm a god. I'm a god.
Oh my god.
Yo, clip that. Somebody clip that.
Clip it.
Clip it. Yo, I told you, cool guys don't look at explosions.